someone is in distress in the wilderness, the Canadian Forces search and rescue technicians leap into action, no matter how far the location or hostile the environment. Their preferred mode of transportation? The parachute.
We have to give these guys a mode of transportation to get down to the ground. Whether it's parachuting or hoisting out of an aircraft to get down to a boat that's in trouble, or an airplane that's crashed, or a lost hunter, or whatever the case may be, that's our means of getting there. Once we're there, we rely on our medical skills to render medical aid to the guys that are in trouble.
Over the last 7 weeks, these 13 recruits training to become SARTECs have jumped at least twice a day, every day.
Definitely for me, the whole para phase has been the most challenging. I've never jumped out of a plane before the course, so it's a pretty frightening experience the first time.
11th jump, I had a parachute malfunction and I was scared.
Honestly, the scariest part would be sitting in the plane knowing that you're about to jump out of a, perfectly good aircraft.
The whole parachute phase is designed to take them from knowing nothing and progressing them through all the phases, all the theory and the knowledge, all the skills, the practical applications of parachuting.
They've come a long way since the first week of training.
All right, fellas, first jump for today.
But before the students can move on to the next phase in their SARTEC course, they must face one last daunting challenge: a low-altitude jump.
With a lower altitude opening under static line, okay, it's not a big deal. Okay, nice. These guys are going to go out and do a low-altitude 1,500-foot jump under static line. It's a culmination of everything that they've learned. It's a little bit of a pucker factor for sure for these guys. The other thing that can happen is going out, not having that positive exit and getting that clean attitude out of the aircraft and coming down that slide.
Jumping from 1,500 feet is considered very risky, even for professional parachutists. In fact, the Canadian Sport Parachuting Association recommends jumping at no lower than 2,200 feet.
Not a lot of time.
But when it comes to saving lives out in the real world, SARTECs can't always choose what conditions they'll deploy in.
So, when you want to take into consideration, they get the idea what it's like in the event that they have to actually go into a crash in bad weather, which is typically when these guys do have to go out for missions, say. All right, any questions? Ready to move here in 5 minutes.
There you go, that's all. Thanks, Kurt. Go home. Just turning off the emergency deployment because we're jumping too low, so you don't have time for it to go off. I don't know how I feel about that.
He's the man.
I usually jump and get hurt, so I just fix everything else.
The trainees admit to feeling a little nervous.
Pretty risky. I mean, there's not much time for reactions. You have to know your drills, procedures, and then you have to set up your pattern quickly.
The instructors, on the other hand, are not worried. SARTECs routinely deploy at even lower altitudes.
It's one of the lower jumps they've done so far. They'll do lower, but that's we're in training environment right now, so 1,500 feet is the lowest we can put them out.
What makes this possible is their specialized ram air canopies, which are designed for easy maneuvering, even while carrying close to 45 kilos of life-saving equipment.
This canopy that the students are flying is built to carry heavy loads. It's a bigger canopy, and it's essentially a wing, and acts very much like an airframe. You can turn it left, turn it right by deflecting the tail. You can glide it, make it plane out, trim the canopy so it'll fly horizontally and lose a lot less vertical descent. You can dive it, and we need it to be that maneuverable to get into the areas that we have to penetrate via parachute to do our job.
He's coming into an entry point right now, and he's probably about 1,000 feet. So he's making those turns to get separation from that other guy so they don't have problems when they get down low. So he's on a downwind leg now, and depending on his altitude or how it looks to him, he'll just keep coming around to final. Now he's right into wind. Set up for the center of the pea gravel bowl, and you'll see him come down to a first stage, and then a finish.
It only takes about 80 seconds from exit to landing.
That's our Chief Warrant Officer, John Oak. First stage, plane out the canopy and finish. Nice. Textbook.
Yeah, by the time you get out and you do all your safety checks on your parachute, you're already sitting at 1,000 feet. So it's pretty quick, so you're coming on final for your landing already.
What they do, they visualize what's called sail. So the canopy's jumping out of the pack tray and it actually sails forward. And if they're looking for that sail, they'll see the riser groups in front of them. So as soon as they see the riser group, it's a matter of grabbing those riser groups, keeping them separated. That prevents a lot of the twists that you'll see people in the air twisted up and they have to kick out. So this guy did a picture perfect, or what's called a textbook. Once he's seen the sail up on the risers, hold it, the canopy develops, and he's able to carry on with his post-deployment procedures.
Corporal Swanson is not so lucky. His lines are twisted, and he must spin around several times to straighten them out so that the canopy will function properly.
I don't know, it jumped out and then it was twist in my parachute. I knew what was wrong with it. It took a while to sort out, so didn't know if I was going to make it to the drop zone or not, but it all worked out pretty good.
With military precision, all 13 rookies successfully complete their 1,500-foot jump.
Okay guys, so really good job this morning on the static line. This afternoon, free fall, same skid as yesterday, okay? Be smart, okay? It's gonna be the same thing. It's gonna be two out on one stick.
Back at base, the Sartecs get briefed on their final jump of the paraphase. After this, they'll move on to the mountain operations phase in Jasper, Alberta.
So we're gonna get probably up to around 12.5. They're calling the ceiling somewhere between 12,000 and 13,000 feet.
Sartecs don't typically carry out free-fall jumps in a real-world rescue. But after 7 weeks of hard work, the students deserve a little fun.
This in here, okay? Not here, not Argus over in here. What you're basically looking for is a feature on the ground to track away from each other. So let's do that, okay? $5 grand, everybody stops what they're doing. 4,500, turn and burn. Dump at 35. Questions? All right, so get ready to move. There's a time and a place to be militant, and then there's time to kind of relax and just take a step back and just, you know, training environment, put them in a relaxed setting and get them, you know, being comfortable under canopy.
Brimming with confidence, the students eagerly anticipate the thrill of free-falling 7,000 feet.
I get to have some fun now. I get to get a free fall in, get a reward from the boss, and it's pretty fun, yeah. Everybody's excited about it.
At this speed of exit, about 140 kilometers per hour, jumpers don't experience the sensation of falling. The resistance of air creates a feeling of weight pressing up against their body.
It's crazy. You can even feel the drops, like in the clouds. Oh, it's crazy. It's fun.
As the paraphase enters the final days, these Sartec students are now able to use yet another highly specialized skill in their life-saving profession.
The start of the course, I wasn't even sure if I was going to jump out of the plane, so getting to this part was pretty good for me. So now 62 jumps later, so it's pretty good.
Old pro now.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that. Still not landing on the X, but I'm getting there.
These students will all face the ultimate challenge of going pro, when in the final operational phase, their life-saving skills will be tested for certification as Canadian Forces Search and Rescue Technicians.